What's poppin', as they say, as a certain someone says every time, but we will get to that. This is week 4 of the PDL season 11, and we are playing my typical prep partner, Doge the Noob. He is not a noob, he's a good player. He defeated me in the finals last year of PDL, at least one of the divisions thereof. So I've been in a quest for revenge ever since. I did play him in a separate league, so this is the rubber match, since I won in the other league. We are going to get into it here. His team is pretty threatening. They did not Terra limit Blood Moon Ursaluna. And so that is going to be a problem. I actually had a hand in adjusting this team. Made some transactions for him because I love doing that as well. We worked on it together, obviously. Definitely, this team has some of my fingerprints on it. You can see the widespread of types and just the general balance that got going on. I do not have a great answer for Meowscarada. I do have Pheasantipity as an answer, but I just felt like I needed to fit all the other answers that I wanted onto the team, which is actually funny because we don't exactly end up doing that because, excuse me, I was offered some advice. I recently got the Jamvad bundle, and included in that is access to a server called Battle Masters, which features so the big creators. You got AIM, you got Envy, you got Rabia. I don't remember if Blunder's in there, but of course Jam is in there, which is great. And Envy is actually my favorite. I'm a huge fan. I was asking for just, generalized advice on the matchup. I had things pretty much mapped out, but then he told me to use Calm Mind Uxie. And I had this set in mind. Actually, my set, if you can believe it, is a little more heat with the Blunder policy and the Thunder. I call him the Thunderblunder, but I wasn't going to name him that because I didn't want it to be telegraphed. Some people don't care about that, but anyway, we're sticking to his horror nickname, which is Lake Mungo. So he actually just advised to do a Thunderbolt and then Colberberry, which I had been looking at Uxie sets that were Colberberry as a response to Mega Gallade with knockoff, and then the Uxie would have foul play. I took a second look, and it's true that this set really puts in work. I wasn't going to use it, even though it seemed like really bad karma to be given word on high from the Lord and not take it. Then I started to think, shoot, if he is Terra Poison on Ursaluna, I just lose. So I was like, well, what can answer that? I don't have a whole lot of offense over here because I really didn't think that Gliscor was very good in the matchup because it just dies to Triple Axle over here. It can kind of respond to Meowscarada, but basically it just cannot get past Corviknight at all unless I'm like Swords Dance, Fire Fang, and I get to like +6. And I didn't want to just, have a Pokemon that lasts forever like that and can't break another Pokemon that lasts forever, and then I lose a Pressure War. And basically, just defensively, I have a whole bunch of other answers. So originally I was going, or rather, I have a whole bunch of better answers to his bigger threats. Originally, basically in this Uxie slot, I was going to bring Hisui and Gudra with Shuckaberry as an answer to Terra Normal. Ursaluna. And it was really up in the air to the last minute. And then I was like, you know what? We're playing a friend. We got this set suggested from Envy, and you know, might as well go with it. The rest of the team is I really like this no item Regieleki with acrobatics, which at least pre Dark Libero will Oko Meowscarada. We got the Mega Gallade Answer and Rocky Helmet Toxic. Mola Toxic was also going to be on the Hisuian Gudra for Ursaluna primarily. We have Chien over here as a Typhlosion check with Terra Water, Terra Blast for that. I've also got random light screen over here. I love, here's what I love about Regieleki. You can, you know, you pretty much just need Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, and then you can do whatever you want for the other two moves. And has a deceptive amount of utility. I've been looking at a Rapid Spin set also, and that would have had a Pheasantipity on it. But basically Pheasantipity just got knocked off by Meowscarada and then did not actually check Mega Gallade like it needed to, unless I made a no psychic move call, and I do not particularly like trying to predict opponent sets. I just try to prep for the entire team and bring an answer for everything if I can. So I have Court Change over here on Cinderace, which is nice also because it gives me rocks, and I think rocks are good into him. I just could not fit them. I typically don't really bring rocks or hazards. I wanted to do that with Gliscor this week if it made more sense, and I would have done that. And obviously I will do that if it makes more sense for me in the matchup, but I just did not do it this week. Would have been nice, but you know, can't fit everything. Got Will-O-Wisp, got a for Mega Gallade, Gunk Shot for Primarina, and yeah, also does good damage to Rotom Heat. So I really want to, excuse me, prefer that to U-Turn. And then finally, we got another Oricorio set, which should just win. We got Chilanberry over here for both of these. This means it can set up on Luna, which is pretty crazy. Also allows this to do anything at once versus Luna. May not do much damage back. It will depend on the Terra. Of course, we have Terra Water. We're not physical, though, with that, so Calm Mind would be an issue. Really kind of put that on the last minute. Maybe it would have been better to be physical Terra Water Blast. But yeah, this Oricorio really should come out at any time and clean things up. But of course, we're just going to have to see what happens. So let's go ahead and get into the matchup. We see here no Primarina, no Typhlosion, which is good. I didn't want Chien to be overloaded with Ursaluna and Typhlosion if there was no Hudra to come along. We've got Quillfish is the interesting choice here. We knew that Rotom Heat was really the only potential check to Oricorio, so I'm not surprised to see that. Generally good into my team because it should do good damage to Gliscor if I bring it. Meowscarada, of course, is a huge threat into me. I do have pretty solid checks to Mega Gallade, especially depending on if he's agility, but Mola should handle that. But Meow is going to be the big problem, but there was really not much way around that. No, I'm not really explaining well why I didn't bring Pheasantipity, because there's better answers than just it gets knocked off, or I mean, its Scarf gets knocked off, which is the item I was going to bring on it. It more came down to the composition of the team, whether it was because if it was going to be this Acrobatics Regieleki, which does check Meowscarada, along with Cinderace, which does also, then that was going to be decent into Meow. But not only that, it was, here, I can go ahead and pull this up. But yeah, over here I have the Acro and Cinderace team has the extra Mega Gallade check, and on paper, at least, you know, mathematically, half an extra Meowscarada check. And then the Pheasantipity one was just going to be better into, you know, these lower tier guys, which I didn't really see coming. I know that's a little bit of a call, but, you know, if they're lower tier, that can handle them in other ways anyway. So it was more to do with that. So anyway, here we go, finally. I am thinking that, you know, I want to prevent Meow. My game plan is to try and prevent Meow from coming in and doing stuff. So we're going to go ahead and lead with our Acrobatics Regieleki, and we get a good lead matchup off the rip. I'm just going to go ahead and Volt Switch. I don't really care if he goes Luna because I have switch-ins, or at least one switch-in. He gives me the momentum. I'll go ahead and get Cinderace. I don't have a great Pokemon for this since I don't have Hoodra. But it's really not that threatening. Even with Pain Split, it shouldn't be that big a problem. So he goes back hard into Quillfish. We turn ourselves into a Poison type, so he can't do much to us. And then we Will-O-Wisp, so he also is not going to be doing much to us. This thing is back. I'm going to go ahead and get Chip. I am intimidated, so I didn't get great Chip there, but 35 is still pretty nice. Now he's down to 50, which is great for Oricorio in the end. Goes ahead, chips us back out. This is here. I'm going to go ahead and switch because there's not much I can do. He goes ahead and gets a Toxic Spike up. That's okay because we have Boots on Cinderace with the core change. Mola, he can't really do anything too. I'm not thinking he was obviously not going to hard Toxic into my Poison type Cinderace. And if he's Toxic Spikes, I'm going to make a call he's not Toxic as well. And indeed, he Pain Splits, which is actually pretty crazy. That's going to be kind of annoying to handle in the end, but we do have stuff like Regieleki and Oricorio. He's faster, so we go ahead and we get the slower flip turn. And our wish comes true as well. That is also what I wanted to do. Go ahead and get that court change off. He's going to U-turn out, and he can just go hard Quillfish. Yeah, I guess he just predicted me not to go ahead and Pyro Ball into him because it was a little easy to go hard Quillfish. Regardless, but I really just needed to get that Toxic Spike out of here. I did not want to deal with that. I've got defensive team, and I've got 1, 2, 3 Mons that are weak to it, so I didn't want to play around with that. So that's okay that we do not have Chip on the Corviknight yet. I go ahead and go Uxie here, just thinking that I don't particularly want to stay in with Cinderace and do nothing to it. Not necessarily going to predict the flip turn. I guess I could. Taking a little bit of damage, but it really wouldn't have mattered, I guess. I'm not playing the best right here, and as you'll see, I make some pretty bad plays. Here we go, because now I've let Meowscarada in by going hard Uxie on the flip turn. That's really bad, because I do not exactly have a switch in to this. Of course, I want to preserve my Uxie, don't want to let it go down for nothing, so I'm going to go into my no-item Regieleki. Even if he's banded, will live, barely, and yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty scary, but this is not exactly a Pokemon that we need health on, especially because he does not appear to have rocks or spikes. I think he would have got up. I don't know, maybe he does have spikes, but I'm not thinking that he would at this point. Guess he could have it on Meowscarada as well. But yeah, I mean, knockoff was pretty easy to predict there. Not that I could do much with it. Go ahead, Volt Switch, but that's okay because I can go Hardwood Chien now. He gets his Calm Mind up. Neither of us are going to bother to Terra. By the way, you probably saw it over here. He thought it was Terra Preview. I don't know if he's in another league, which is Terra Preview, but he went ahead and told me it was Ground, so I went ahead and told him I was Water. But there's not much point in getting it up now because I'm not going to resist the Ground type attacks if I Terra in front of this. And as you're going to see, We're going to pop the Chien, and it's going to do nothing at all. Excuse me. Go ahead, seed up. Now I can go into Uxie. Aha, very interesting. In position to fire off our Thunder, but we do connect, which is too bad. That's too bad. That comes back in. This is, okay. I have to, like, explain something here even because of how bad this play is. This is, like, just a propensity that I have that I need to fix in my play. I feel like I have the impulse to be forced out of stuff to try to get to safety and switch into danger, over realizing that safety could be staying in on the predict, or I'm not sure, you know. Either way, U-turn is going to chunk here. It will chunk Chien. It doesn't have much incentive to flower trick, except for I think he's going Mola. At any rate, I knew this thing was going to be a problem. I do not want to give up Cinderace, and I do believe it dies at 83. If it doesn't, then it comes way too close for comfort, and it's probably a roll, is my guess. Can't switch in Regieleki. I already tried that one time. Can't go Pom-Pom, because I would want to not only preserve my Chien Berry, but preserve all my health. So there's really no good answer here. However, I do probably think too rashly, and I just go ahead and go Chien, which is just terrible. I knew this was going to happen the whole time. I was just praying that he was going to knock. You know, at any rate, Chien is not the #1 most needed Mon here. Again, it had Water, Terra Blast, and Foul Play, which it wasn't really... If it had taken any chip, which it did, it was not really likely to live a Swords Dance close combat, even after Terra, from Mega Gallade. I had a Psychic type variant that would be more counter to Mega Gallade. Basically, Chien is my Typhlosion answer, and I'd like to say that I was like, well, I can throw this away, but no, I kind of just fucked up. Of course, I didn't really have a great answer. I could have maybe gone Cinderace on the U-turn, but that's a huge risk into the knockoff. Cinderace is too good into the rest of his team with Mega Gallade not agilityed up or anything. And I didn't want to risk Mola when Mega Gallade was still around. So I was like, well, maybe he doesn't U-turn. I don't really have a great option no matter what. It felt a little more like I fucked up at the time, but actually if I talk myself through, this was the best play. Just hope he knocks. So yeah, unfortunately Chien's going to go down, which is too bad because it was looking kind of decent in the matchup. I mean, looking at it here, it doesn't really do a whole lot. Yeah, I don't know. I'm always excited to use Chien, and then unfortunately, Chien is going to say whoa unto his demise today. Corv comes out, which is interesting because it allows half my team in, actually more than half, and I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to Calm Mind up this time, and he roosts. If he U-turns out, then it's you know, the game again with a Meowscarada. I don't know if he just didn't want to get low, and so yeah, that was basically what I was thinking. Now that I remember it, I was thinking he was probably going to have to roost there, that he didn't want to just have low Corviknight, which is a little bit of a bad play on his part actually, because he could have actually let Corviknight pretty much get low or get knocked out, and have been fine with that, because I have all these Mons that check it. So him roosting up is a little bit of a misplay, but I just called that it was the safe play, I guess, and so I'm able to Calm Mind up. And he still stays in. Ooh, oh, and we miss. Oh no. Uh-oh. Blunder policy activation. And he goes Gallade, which is interesting. Now I'm thinking he probably has a dark type move. Like knockoff or something, but I have already been knocked off, so I calc it, and Night Slash does not knock me out. I don't think it knocks me out. Let me double check. Hopefully, in searching that, I did not come up with any kind of untoward result. I'll have to re-record this and double checking if so. Not Oricorio, Uxie. I'm thinking, yeah, he's definitely Jolly. I'm not gonna bother to calc Adamant. So Night Slash. Yeah, I was doing 40%. So he was not gonna knock me out. And he knocks off, which of course does less than Night Slash because I've already activated my Blunder policy. So I figure, yeah, I can Calm Mind up on this thing. I'm going to go ahead and Draining Kiss, get out of range of another Mega knockoff. He just forgot to Mega that first time, I guess, but it wouldn't have mattered because, as you can see, it was doing 31%. Now I'm able to pick this off with a stored power. And here we freaking go. Uxie going crazy. Whoa, Chien. Oh, does not knock that out. Does get the para, does break through, but he, even with U-turn, by the way, he does not knock me out. Does not do 24% with U-turn. No, it was not going to do that with all my defense investment over here. And then we can pick this off with a stored power. The F word has been said. That's how you know it's real. This is a 12% chance to kill. I was not gonna be able to get out of range of a Blood Moon with a Draining Kiss. Don't think so. But anyway, so yeah, I go ahead and get a huge chunk on him, so now I can revenge easily. He never went into Meow at any point. Which is here. Let me do the calc on that too. Good thing I pulled it up. Knockoff. +2. Draining Kiss was going to do 54. Yeah, he could have gone Meow towards the end there and preserved Ursaluna. However, he made me right that Meowscarada is more of a win con. So, the Mega Gallade initially, I do think, is a wrong play. He probably should have tried for Meowscarada to start because I wasn't going to be able to Calm Mind up on it. So I'll have to ask him what he was thinking with regards to not sending out Meowscarada earlier against this Uxie, because while I was probably going to be able to live one knockoff when I was at 61% there, yeah, 81 after a tiny bit of chip in the activation, and U-turn. Actually, just 20, but it wasn't going to be 24. So, yeah, I would Uxie wouldn't have really put in as much work if he went Meow earlier. Yeah, +2 Draining Kiss, at least even +1 Draining Kiss. Oops, that's -1. Yeah, 40%, and would have really chunked him down to allow for Regieleki to kill after Libero and such. So, yeah, but at any rate, we take that. Oops, woohoo, oops. Anyway, yeah, we stored power, we get it down, and the Blood Moon comes out. I go ahead and I can revenge with anything. I don't want to try it with Mola, but anything else is fine. You risk missing. Otherwise, Cinderace is decent. However, he can just go Quillfish. So I'm just going to revenge with you. And I'm thinking, even if he has Toxic, this is fine. He said after the game that if he goes Meow here, he still has a chance. But at this point, the game is a little bit over. Yeah, he did not have Toxic, but I figured that would be fine anyway if he did. He decides to sack Quillfish. I think going Meow here was maybe the better play. Maybe he thought he lived. No, and we miss the Air Slash. Now, if we get that Air Slash, Oricorio moves to 10 kills and 1 death, which makes it second on the leaderboard. And it's a 5-point Mon and does not have Terra. So think about that. Everything else up on that leaderboard is like, it would have surpassed King Gambit with Terra. Let me just say that. And Kyurem with Terra is #1. So, yeah, Oricorio, a pretty good Pokemon, but unfortunately, he is going to keep his Typhlosion in front of it, as they, I believe now, are both 7-1. Or 7. This is 7-2, and his Typhlosion is 7-1 now. So, yeah, I come in with Regieleki to revenge with my Acrobatics tech, but he does not allow me. Good thing I realized that, well, actually I was not going to do that, because he is Protean Dark now. And so I figure I'm going to Volt Switch into Mola, and then, but he goes Rotom Heat, which allows us to actually Volt Switch into Cinderace. Go ahead, connect with the Gunk Shot, pick that off, and it's GG here. He can't lock himself into something that's going to sweep me, because Mola's going to eat knockoffs easily, and then win with a Wish. So, yeah, that was a good game all around. I'm sure he's desperate for revenge after this. I think both of us probably could have played better, actually. But it was very fun. And shout out to Lord Envy for that Uxie set, which got, did it get 3 kills? No, it got 2 kills, but then did an immense amount of damage as well to the bear, which he has on his team. So maybe some, no, it's, I was going to say maybe some bad fortune for him. No, I'm just kidding. He has been given fortune for sure from me for this set, for this suggestion. So, yeah, definitely GG to Doge. We will continue to be prep partners throughout this season, just like we were last season as well in the CDL. So, yeah, I'm sure, will make playoffs, and we will go ahead and duke it out once again for the 4-game series. See if we can get a series split at that point. And yeah, that is the end. Freaking Uxie continues its rampage from last game as well, when it was chomping on those Ubers. Now, I've got to come up with a pretty good thumbnail to follow that one up. Obviously, I do not make my own thumbnails. I just find fan art. And I'm not making money off it, so it's fine. I guess. I don't know if it's taboo or whatever, but it's not like I can make my own thumbnails, really. So, anyway. Yeah, I will see you next week. Actually, we have because of the holidays, it'll be an extended break. So, not next week, the week after. But, yeah, we're going to keep on going. We are 4-0. So, let's go ahead and try to move to 5-0 next week. All you can do. Goodbye.